Babushka. How's the battle going?
The Garmonia army is advancing throughout Novoslava. Our troops are resisting wherever they can, but they cannot put up an organized fight.
Are there any ally units close by?
Several members of the 14th Platoon are engaged in battle in your vicinity, transmitting coordinates to your device. The enemy seems to be deploying troops to clean up the area. I advise you act quickly. 23 minutes have passed since you last moved.
That's just a nice way of saying, move your ass, Mikhail, isn't it?
Located nearby shelter, transmitting coordinates to your device.
Those things are still around, huh?
They were constructed as refuge for civilians if ever a state of emergency was declared.
But not soldiers, is that it?
Upon finding survivors, I will transmit their coordinates to you. Go to their aid whenever possible.
I'll do what I can.
Caution, the enemy is approaching. 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 Nearby survivor located. Transmitting coordinates to your device. Caution, the enemy is approaching. 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 Caution, the enemy is approaching.
What the?
Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, the enemy is approaching. Caution, close quarters weapon damaged. Caution, the enemy is approaching. 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 Caution.
Who are you?
Caution. Warning. Body armor failure. Please take care when under fire.
That's better.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is...
That's better.
Mikhail, Garmonian soldiers are killing civilians in this area. Transmitting coordinates to your device.
Damn it. Why are they doing this?
Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Don't shoot! Don't kill me!
Private Kowinski, remind me, what was it we heard from command?
That our troops had been attacked by a group of armed civilians.
Hey, are you okay?
You saved me.
It's okay. I'm with the Ruthenian army. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Do you know where the shelter is? Go there and fast.
I can't thank you enough. I really thought I was done for.
Subject of protection registered. Searching for route.
Oh my god, thank you. Thank you so much. You saved my life.
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter.
Hurry up and get me out of here! I don't want to die!
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter.
All right.
Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Subject of protection evacuated to shelter. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. Caution. Close quarters weapon damaged. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Be alert. Someone is approaching you from behind.
Apologies, mon ami. I wasn't trying to sneak up on you. The name's Patrick Lemaire. I'm a freelance reporter.
Immigration records confirmed. Patrick Lemaire, a combat journalist born in EC, France. He has written numerous articles for Lancaster Press Company and other mainstream media outlets.
Meaning he's not the enemy.
I take it you believe me, Zen. See, I just want to ask you a few questions. I've been watching you for a while now. You're a poster boy for the army. Brave, sincere, ready to sacrifice your own life to save the people. I want to see how far this hypocrisy goes with my own eyes.
What?
Didn't you know? The Rossinian army decided to retreat from Nova Slava.
What do you mean retreat? The battle just barely started.
Still, the truth is your friends keep pulling back further and further. The only ones left in the city are survivors like you, and the Garmonians hunting them down.
Are you telling me they aren't sending reinforcements?
Well, they still might, eventually. If the rest of the world gets its ass in gear and decides on a plan of action.
They sent us here to die.
Well, now for the good news. I had a guaranteed way to get you out of this mess. But there's something I need you to do for me.
And what's that exactly?
First, I want to put you to the test a bit more. Let's meet up again later. After all, you were heading somewhere when I stopped you. Perhaps it's best you hurry along. Once you're finished with your errand, I'll get in touch again.
The hell is with that guy? I don't like this. Koshka, was he serious about the retreat?
Currently, no official order has been given. However, I cannot determine the situation is not as he says.
Damn it. So if I want help, he's it. Hey, what are you doing here? This area's dangerous. Get out of here. Did you hear me? I said get out of here. Head for the shelter, okay?
Don't talk down to me. It's your fault this happened. All of you.
How is this our fault? The Garmonians are the ones who attacked first. They're the ones to blame, not us.
No, you're the ones who lost. I'm going to kill every last one of them. Since you can't seem to do it, I will.
Please, just stop.
Stop! Stop, he says! Sure, I'll stop. I'll stop living!
I know we just met, so I don't blame you if you don't believe me. But I'm not dying here. And as long as I'm alive, there's gotta be something I can do to fix this. There's gotta be something I can do to help you. Come on, you've made your point. Just put the gun down.
There's nothing you can do!
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Koshka to Mikhail. Location of 14th Platoon confirmed. Several survivors are engaged in combat, but they are outnumbered. The enemy is patrolling the area. Be careful, Mikhail.
Damn it, I'm not gonna make it in time.
Located inactive Wanzer. There are soldiers guarding it. Please be careful. Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching.
There!
This is what I was born to do.
Net damage worsening. Use caution. Net damage. Damage level next failing. Movement functions restricted. Net damage increasing. Realigning fuselage control. prudent with remaining rounds in.
Hey, you okay?
Are you on our side?
Are you hurt?
My unit's destroyed. I'm the only one who made it out. Damn Carmonians. You don't by chance have any meds or anything on you, do you?
Yeah, I've got something. Use this.
Thanks. I owe you one. Those Carmonians better watch out. It's payback time. Huh. I still got some fight left in me. I'm not gonna let them get away with killing my friends. Hey, mind if I ask you one more favor? I've got a rifle, but no slugs. You don't have any you could spare, do you? I appreciate it. Now it's time for some payback. Thanks for everything. I mean it. I owe you a beer next time. Well, if there is a next time.
Patrick just sent a rendezvous location, transmitting coordinates to your device.
This timing is almost too perfect. Was he watching me or something?
Mon ami, you made it here in one piece. Not too shabby. So about that thing I wanted you to do for me. Of course I do. Otherwise, I'd be stuck here too. There's this secret I'm after. There's more to this war than meets the eye. At least that's what I believe. I don't care if you trust me as a person or not. All this is a simple give and take.
What do you think, Koshka?
From the sound of his voice, I believe what he says is credible. He is not lying. But this analysis is only valid for what he has said thus far. It is possible he is still withholding information.
Looks like the only thing I can do is go along with him after all.
Okay. All I require is that you rescue a certain civilian from inside the city.
What civilian?
The target is Novoslava councilman Vladimir Lunin. That big shot was an official at the Port and Harbor Authority for several years. But just recently was elected as a councilman. There's a chance that he holds the flame that ignited this war.
What are you talking about?
A couple years ago, the plans for a new Wanza model was stolen from the UCS. Or to be more exact, they found evidence that they'd been illegally copied. You didn't hear about that. Well, I guess a lot of heads would roll if that info had leaked. Anyway, the best guess anyone had for where those copied plans ended up was here, in Novoslava. You need the right resources if you're going to manufacture Wanzas. Having the Port and Harbor Authority under your thumb would be ideal. I'm sure even you know about the group that fought tooth and nail for Novoslava's liberation. He was one of the ones at the top, organizing the whole thing. Leveraging that is what got him elected to the council. Ever since, he's been growing more and more powerful. More powerful than any councilman could ever hope to be. There's plenty of talk that there's a dark underbelly to his triumphs.
What does any of this have to do with the war?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. But what if the real reason for this sudden invasion was to bury the truth? I know it sounds crazy, but it's not impossible. That's why I want to speak with Bunin myself. I have proof Bunin's alive and well. He sent an SOS from the Konakov Council building. But I'm not going to stand here all day talking your ear off. You in? Then we have an arrangement. You keep him alive for me. I'll tell you how to get out of here. Better hurry. He won't live forever.
How's the rest of the city faring, Koshka? What's going on with the Ruthenian army?
The defense forces are retreating from this area. Retreating troops are heading westward. It seems the plan is to regroup at the harbor.
Then there's no point in staying here much longer.
Collecting footage of the area. The safest route to the harbor is through the sewers. Borodin's soldiers are in the city. Take care not to run into them.
He always has been like a dog with a bone. Some things never change.
Olga, there is a Ruthenian soldier nearby being pursued by the enemy.
A survivor?
Staff Sergeant Mikhail Shuvalov of the 2nd Mobile Platoon. He is safeguarding a civilian and is considerably exhausted. Transmitting the information to your device. Survivors located. Transmitting coordinates to your device. Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution.
Hey, you! You're a cop, right? What are you doing just wandering around like an idiot? You need to get me somewhere safe. Now!
I am a police officer, but what gives you the idea you can talk to me like that?
I could say the same to you! This is no way to treat a civilian. Do you know who I am?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never met before. I'd have remembered meeting someone so incredibly rude.
I'm Zartek's executive director! I practically fund all of Nova Slava with the taxes I pay. Oh, I have plenty of high-ranking friends in the police force. All I'd have to do is say the word, and you'd be out of a job. Now that you understand your place, hurry up and take me somewhere safe!
Unfortunately, you aren't the only one who needs my help right now. I'll tell you how to get to the shelter. You'll have to get there on your own.
You insolent! How dare you speak to me like that? I'll remember this! You'll regret the day you crossed me!
Subject of protection registered. Searching for route.
Now.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution.
What are you doing? You need to get to a shelter, fast.
What's the rush? My daughter's getting married tomorrow. We were just coming back from the rehearsal. It was one hell of a shindig, wasn't it, honey?
I'm glad you had a good time, but now it's time to evacuate. It's dangerous here.
I know. Why don't you come with us for a celebratory drink? The more the merrier.
Then let's get going. Do you mind if I pick the place?
Not at all! And it's my treat, so drink all you want. Honey! Hey, honey! Come on! Let's go!
Your family will be right there. You go on ahead.
Subject of protection registered. Lead the way to the shelter. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Subject of protection evacuated to shelter.
Finally, some help. Wait, you're a civilian?
Not who you were hoping for, hmm? I can leave.
No, wait. I'll take whatever help I can get. Beggars can't be choosers.
That girl. I saw her in the slums. Is she alive?
Yeah.
Enemy soldiers, prepare to intercept.
You take care of the girl. I'll handle the hostiles.
Caution. The enemy seems to be approaching. Caution. The enemy seems to be approaching. There is no time until arrival. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Warning. Enemy reinforcements have arrived. Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Warning. Enemy reinforcements have arrived. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Warning. There are multiple enemies in the vicinity. The enemy is on high alert.
It's much better.
Warning. Enemy reinforcements have arrived. Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. Caution. Body armor damaged. Caution. Body armor damage worsening.
How am I out of ammo? I need to stop the bleeding. That's much better.
No sign of the enemy nearby. It is safe for the time being.
You did well out there. For a civvy.
I suppose the Ruthenian army is too busy to drill any manners into its soldiers. This is why I hate the military.
Well, she's bleeding a little. It doesn't look like more than a scratch. She'll wake up soon. Take the girl and get to the shelter. I'll go get help. With things the way they are, that's the only option.
I'm not so sure about that. I bet you're nicer than you look. But I honestly don't know if you're capable.
Do all cops have a hero complex, or is it just you? Letting a civilian get involved won't cause me anything but trouble.
I'm just worried about her. I have a responsibility to protect her.
We're in the middle of a war. Now is not the time to go sticking your neck out when you don't have to. Get your head on straight.
This conversation is a waste of time. I'm getting her to the shelter, and I'm finding help. Alone.
Whatever makes you happy.
Well, good morning. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. I'll protect you. Don't touch me! Wait! Come back! Koshka, see if there's any info in the city police database about that girl.
I have found something that may be relevant. She bears a striking resemblance to the victim of an incident that took place 4 years ago. Yulia Smirnova, 5 years old at the time, lost both parents to the riots that erupted throughout Novoslava. Afterwards, a foster facility called Like Family took guardianship of her.
She's an orphan. Another victim of those riots.
Garmonian troops are amassing in the plaza. I believe they are enacting some sort of operation in this area.
This could be my chance to find out what they're scheming.
It will be dangerous. Proceed with caution.
I want a situation report now. Have you located Boonin?
Sir, a search of his office yielded a number of data files.
Only files? Not the man himself? He had orders to wait there.
There was no one in the office, sir.
That coward must have gotten spooked. Order our troops to conduct a thorough search of the area for him, and get those files analyzed immediately. Kill anyone who tries to interfere. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't Borodin's unit. That man looked like the commander, but he wasn't wearing a Garmonian uniform. Who on earth is he?
His uniform resembles a Zaftra army pilot suit. It is highly possible that Zaftra sent him to collaborate with the Garmonia army.
Wait. Are you saying Zaftra's involved in this war?
Lacking any further information, I cannot hazard a guess.
That didn't look like any invasion unit I've ever seen. So, what are they doing here?
Lacking any further information, I cannot hazard a guess.
Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out for myself. They mentioned something about data files. Maybe finding those files will tell me what those guys are doing here.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Analyzing data. File name. 1st Special Battalion dinner assignments. Entered into archives.
Seriously?
Nearby survivor located. Transmitting coordinates to your device. Analyzing data. File name. Top 100 Garmonian beauties. Entered into archives.
What? Don't archive that.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Data analysis complete. Good. Now transmit these copies. Get the original drive and come with me. We'll report this directly to Lieutenant Zazchev.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Warning. Body armor failure. Please take care when under fire.
My job's not done yet.
Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Data analysis complete. Good. Now transmit these copies. Get the original drive and come with me. We'll report this directly to Lieutenant Zazchev.
I'm bleeding!
What is this, Koshka?
It appears to be Wanzer production reports. It seems that, for some reason, this one was designed and produced in secret.
So those guys who were looking for Boonin must really be after this mech.
It is highly possible. According to the data, it was already assembled and transported to warehouses near the harbor. Enemy troop deployments have changed. Transmitting information to your device. Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Don't move! Ha! Ha! Someone cover me!
Warning, body armor failure. Please take care when under fire.
Someone cover me! Cover me!
It's much better.
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. The nearby enemy troops have started to mobilize. They seem to be heading toward the harbor.
They must have seen the copies of this data. Koshka, have you been able to locate that girl? Yulia?
There is no information on anyone fitting her description nearby. Perhaps she has already left this area.
I see. Wherever she is, I hope she's safe. Anyway, I need to hightail it to the harbor. Who knows how long the Ruthenian army can hold out for?
Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. The enemy is approaching.
Ha! Ha! Ha!
Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is a caution. Close quarters weapon damage. Caution. The enemy is approaching. 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 Caution. Caution. Close quarters weapon damage worsening.
Are you all right? You should get out of here, quickly. What about her?
Emilia is dead. My wife. She protected me. Why? Why is this happening?
It's too dangerous to stay here. If you don't go, you'll die next.
I know that, but I don't want to leave her here like this.
Her sacrifice will have been in vain if you end up dying too. I know it sounds heartless, but that's the only option you have right now.
Hey, I remember you. You're Olga Kalanina. You used to be a Wanzer pilot in the Garmonian army. I used to work for the Garmonian army's PR division. I interviewed you when you became a pilot.
Oh, yes, that's right, you did.
I heard about it when you left the army, after your daughter died.
Why do you want to talk about that right now? That was so long ago.
It was terrible. The army and civilians fighting all over the city, killing your daughter and so many others. Once you left the army, I really worried if you'd ever recover. And here you are, a Ruthenian police officer. Tell me, how did you do it? How did you get over her death?
Just listening to you talk about what happened is bringing all that pain back to the surface. That pain is always there. Always. I've never gotten over it.
I'm sorry I reopened old wounds. Maybe I'll try things your way. Even if all I can do right now is grieve.
Subject of protection
Now.
registered. Searching for route.
Now. Now.
Civilian subject of protection safely evacuated to shelter. Caution. The enemy is approaching. Caution. The enemy is approaching.
What was that about? He didn't look like military. I swear I've seen his face before. Somewhere.
Match found. Ruslan Ismailov, former leader of NGFP, the group that fought for Novoslava's liberation. He was confirmed dead 2 years ago, in April of 2125.
The hero of Novoslava's revolution. That can't be him, he's dead. He was assassinated right after the city was liberated.
That is correct. His face is a 98.3% match to images on file. Barring the existence of an identical twin, it is unlikely that was anyone else.
A twin. Wouldn't that be convenient? But then... who was that?
Don't move.
I believe that's my line, Mr. Dead Man. You... aren't Ruslan.
Ruslan? Why did you say that name? Tell me what's going on.
Ruslan Ismailov, Novoslava's fallen hero, was just here.
He was here? What are you talking about? He's dead.
Honestly, I don't quite believe it myself. I know he was assassinated. By someone called...
Leonid Osterman, a former member of Ruslan's liberation group. He was arrested, charged with murder, and sentenced to death. There are records that his punishment was carried out that same year.
Where is he? Where did Ruslan go?
He left. You just missed him. Who was that guy?
That was Leonid Osterman, a former member of Ruslan's liberation group. He was charged with murder and sentenced to death. There are records that his punishment was carried out that same year. Inexplicably, both his appearance and voice print match the records.
Another ghost.
Olga, I have bad news. A short time ago, the Ruthenia army decided to retreat from Novoslava.
What do you mean, retreat? It hasn't even been half a day. Koshka, is there any other way I can meet up with the army?
Continue west as planned. There are private container ships moored in the harbor. It is possible to escape if you are able to board one.
The Garmonians are heading to the harbor too, aren't they? I've got a bad feeling about this.